Hello my friends, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Civilization. What this video is going to be about, I'm going to try to help you and guide you the best way I can, give you my best tips and advices how to choose the right civilization, or if you plan to choose your civilization in the future. So let me get started. First two civilizations that I'm going to talk about is for the people that like to spend. So if you are a moderate spender, my advice would be to go with Germany. Now you might say, why would I advise you to go with Germany? The main reason is because that is the easiest way you could have a very powerful and strong setup at the beginning of the game. You have the special unit Teutonic Knights, which they have a slightly better bonus than any other TFO cavalry. You have more attack for your cavalry. You have Minamoto on the VIP shop that you can maxed out pretty fast. You have Chow Chow in the special boxes, special daily offer, and you have the troops training speed, because obviously if you are a moderate spender you're definitely going to speed rush your troops. And then you have action points recovery. If you're actually active, this will help you kill more barbarians and do some other various tasks that require action points into the game, like killing forts for example. So this is why Germany is a civilization that I would advise for a moderate spender. Now the second option for a moderate spender is Rome, because you have the special unit Legionnaire which counter the cavalry, and you have a pretty decent starting commander Scipio, which it's a great tank. But if you go for Rome, I have to give you a fair warning, it's going to take you quite a while until you manage to set up your counter cavalry. So until you manage to have two strong commanders to benefit more from your special unit, which is the Legionnaire, that is going to take you quite a while. Now another bonuses that you have obviously, which is infantry defense, because you want more defense for your Legionnaire. Then you have troop march speed. Well, this is very unique. There is no other civilization that have troop march speed. What is that going to mean? That means that if you play correctly, if you do your talents correctly, even with your cavalry, you can basically move faster than anyone else in the game. And then you have food gathering, but if you're a moderate spender, it's not really going to make much of a difference for you. So this is my advice for moderate spender. You have two options: you either go with Rome or you go with Germany because of the bonuses. So that is going to depend on your playstyle. What is that supposed to mean? You want to play defensive, then you obviously need Legionnaire. You want to be an aggressive player, then you obviously want to go cavalry. The talents has been updated in the last update. Minamoto is not like it used to be, but he's still a very good cavalry commander, and Chow Chow is in the daily bonus chest, so you can eventually max Chow Chow as well, and they make a very good pair and probably the best cavalry pair together. Right, now this is for moderate spender. Now for a deep spender. If you are a deep spender, the only civilization that I would advise to you is Rome. And what does it mean, a deep spender? Well, I'm talking about maybe 4,000 spending in a month, give or take. This is what I call a deep spender. So if you're a deep spender, your only choice is Rome. The reason why is because, first thing, you want to counter the moderate spenders, so you definitely need march speed, and then you need more defense for your infantry. And if you are a deep spender, you will have all three types of counters. You will have your archer setup, you will have your infantry setup, and you'll have your cavalry. So with your cavalry, you want to catch the other cavalry setups, and in the same time you want to have your infantry as strong as possible so you can counter their cavalry or other infantries. You will probably dominate in research, so do not make any other worries. As a deep spender, Rome is the one that you want to choose. Don't go for 5% training speed, because if you're spending that much, 5% training speed is not going to mean much of a difference for you. Now, Obviously, if you have any other choices, you can go ahead. This is just my advice. Now for free to play, let's start with the free to play. Before I start with the free to play, I have to mention a couple of things that I have been asked most of the times in my comments, my videos, my live stream. First thing, the talents only work on the main commander. So this is something that you need to keep in mind for the long run. Second of all, if you are a free to play, I'm not talking spending like $30 or $50, you're still a free to play. So if you spend like $30-50, you are still a free to play. Now, as a free to play, it's going to take you a very long time to have a specific army setup. And what is that supposed to mean? To have, for example, a full group of infantry, or for example to have a full group or cavalry. That is going to take you quite a while. What you need to focus as a free to play, you need to benefit as much as possible from what the game has to offer to you. Now, as a starting civilization, as a free to play, my advice is Britain, and the only reason I advise Britain is because of the starting commander. Now I'm gonna go ahead and explain it to you why, because obviously you're wondering. First of all, as a starting commander, you get a jungler. It's not going to take you just a couple of talents and you already start obtaining 50% more experience from barbarians and other neutral units, which are guardians, and you do not need action points to kill those guardians. Then as you keep progressing to your commander further into the game, you are going to obtain another 20% experience, so that brings you to 35% experience just from this particular commander. Now you might be wondering, because there is another commander that grants experience. Well, the reason I'm advising Britain is because Boudica, you can use her for something else. She can be a very decent nuker, she has a healing factor, and then she has a damage boost to your troops. So she can work with almost any setup. She's a general commander, so you can use Boudica almost everywhere you would like, even if she in the future is going to be a secondary commander. So for the beginning, your main focus is to have a 6-star commander, preferably 2. And Boudica is going to help you because at some point you're going to have a secondary commander, and that secondary commander is going to benefit from this 35% experience. So compared to any other players or any other starting civilization, you can level up 2 commanders basically 35% faster, because you gain more experience from your barbarians and your guardians. So if you're active and you played right, you can get very fast. Later on into the game, if you want to make that spending and change the civilization to something else, that's going to be your choice. But as a starting civilization, my advice is that Britain is going to help you the most. Then you have the increased ally garrison capacity by 20%, which is very unique. If you are a free to play, you're a target all the time. This is the fact, and this is how the game is. Free to play, you're a target. If you want to see how much this ally garrison capacity is going to help you, I have a video where I did defend it against 3 rallies. So you can check on that video how much this 20% garrison capacity helped me, because I basically had my garrison was at full capacity and I managed to defend with a tiny bit of troops left. So that 20% actually helped me defend against a rally in one situation. So being a free to play, as I mentioned, you're going to be a target and you want as much reinforcements as possible into your city. So if I go into my city and I go to my alliance center, you can see that I have my normal reinforcement troop capacity, and then this is the extra that I can have just in case if I'm attacked and I get reinforcements. So this is why my advice as a starting civilization, Britain is a very good for starting. Another 2 options depending on your playstyle, can be Germany, but this will require you to be very active, because the only thing that is going to benefit you as a free-to-play player is going to be the 10 action points. If you're not an active player and your action points go to the limit, which is 1000, then you're not really benefiting from this. The troops training speed, if you're not spending money, or speed rush, is not going to be that significant. 5% cavalry attack is alright, but this percentage, they all going to count later on into the game, late into the game. In the beginning of the game, it's all about tiers and numbers. Another civilization as free to play that I would advise you is Rome. The reason why is Scipio. Scipio is a very good tanking commander, and with the new talents he became pretty strong. So as a starting commander, he is a very good starting commander, and all of the bonuses that you get are pretty significant. And as a free to play, you might want to counter the cavalry, so this 5% bonus is going to help you slightly, a little bit. Troops, march speed, definitely as a free to play is going to help you a lot. Food gathering, that is not something to give away, trust me. Food gathering, or like Britain, they have wood gathering, this is not something to give away. And at some point, if you ever manage to have that many legionnaires as a free to play, you're going to be very fearsome, and these guys with the cavalry unit, they will not going to harassment you as much as you think. So in my opinion, these are the 3 civilizations that you should choose from when starting as a free to play. Now you might be wondering, bro, but why did they put a civilization? Well, they put a civilization so you can have a variety to choose from, but I'm just trying to give you my tips and advices, which are the best one, or which are the ones that you could benefit the best from. The next one that I would advise as a starting civilization could be France. Now the reason is why is France is because of Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is first of all the best gatherer into the game. Second of all, she is the best support and the most accessible support to max out into the game. So that's how good she is. So having a maxed out support or a very good and maxed out commander is going to help you a lot into the game. Now you might be wondering, they have the 2% health increase. Well, as I mentioned, in the lower levels this is not going to make much of a difference. Mid to late game, which is like City Hall 21 up to 25, I would say that France is going to make a difference. This 2% of health is going to make a difference, but until then it's pretty insignificant. Then you have 10% stone gathering. There is a time into the game when stone becomes very essential, and I think it's like City Hall 21 till City Hall 23, and I have to say that this 10% stone gathering is going to help you. Hospital healing speed, that's pretty bad. It does help you, but as a free to play you want to avoid that. You want to avoid hospital capacity as much as possible. The next one would be Spain, and you might be wondering why. Because of Pelagius. Pelagius for free to play is a decent nuker. There are quite just like 2 nukers, and Pelagius would be the second best nuker. Then another thing that Pelagius has is cavalry defense. He is one of the 2 cavalry commanders that gives you cavalry defense, and if you unlock his expertise, that is like 15% cavalry defense. Then you get another 5% from your nation, and that's 20% cavalry defense that other nations don't have if you use Pelagius. Now the reason that I classify them like the 5th one is because they have gold gathering speed and increased troops load by 10%, so these are really bad bonuses. But they have a special unit, Conquistador, and it is the only civilization that actually starts with a commander that is boosting the special unit. So in the end game, if you ever manage to have a full group of conquistadores, Pelagius is going to boost them quite significantly, and you will deliver quite a significant amount of damage. Now the last three are China, Japan and Korea. As I said, these are my tips and advices, and obviously I'm going to say why. The reason I'm saying China is because as a free-to-play, Sun Tzu has next to zero defense, and he does a group damage. He only becomes very good as a main commander and the starting commander when he obtains his expertise. Until you obtain his expertise, that's gonna take quite a while and a bit of investment. Second of all, as a starting civilization, you get troops defense. 2%, as I mentioned, is going to help you mid to late game. So that's like City Hall 21 up to 25. Then you get increased resource production. This is again, in the lower levels, your productions, they are going to be very low levels, and they are not something that you should focus on upgrading. You'll probably start upgrading them once you hit City Hall 21, 22 or 23. So that's when your resource production is going to make a difference, this 10%. Building speed, again, mid to late game. In the low levels, the building speed is quite fast. I mean, even a free-to-play, they are now in my server, they are 21, 22, maybe even 23, some of them. So the building speed in the low levels does not make much of a difference, mid to late game. Japan. Kusunoki is a great archery commander, but again, he is like Sun Tzu. He does the fan shape area. He doesn't have much of a defense or particular skills that I personally like. And then again, troops attack 2% mid to late game is going to help you when everyone has like tier 4 troops, and then is when the research and the stats will start to count, and the numbers, because everyone at some point is going to have the same numbers of troops into the group, and that's when the stats will matter. So true attack in the lower levels is not really going to help you that much. Then you have scout march speed. I managed to scout the entire map as Britain before it was revealed, because at some point it gets revealed by itself if you don't manage to do it yourself. So what's the point of the scout march speed? Then you have troop training capacity. You're just going to train more troops than other, but you still spend the time and the resources. So yeah, not very great. Korea, increase archers defense, increase hospital capacity and research speed. Well, I have to say that all the three bonuses, they are pretty decent, especially the hospital capacity mid to late game. That is something that you want to have. Increase archer defense, I'm 50-50. That is going to help you again mid to late game when you have full groups of archers. The research speed, again, once you reach your tier 4, then is when the research is actually going to matter. When you start unlocking your tier 4, you're going to notice that it's about 25 to 30 days, depending on the bonuses that you have, to research your tier 4. So this 2% is going to make a difference. It's going to reduce it, I'm not sure if by days, but some hours definitely. So then is when Korea is actually going to make a difference. Another advantage about Korea is that Euji Mundok is their starting commander, and he is a great infantry commander. So that's all I have to say. As I said, and I mentioned it like 2 or 3 times, this is my tips and advices about this particular subject, and I believe I gave strong reasons why I'm saying what I'm saying. So until next time, this is Legend Ronnie. I'm signing out. Peace out, yo. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like more.